So we've got a new EV last week, exactly a week ago. We have yet to charge it. It's still got 65% battery, but I did have an EV charger installed yesterday, and wanted to just share some lessons learned on EV charging. Besides, besides just having the 240 volt outlet installed in my garage, I'll cover that. I'll show what that looks like. Because when I was researching it last week, I was looking for just give me some examples, pictures of what's available. But the first thing I did is with the whole EV charging thing is understood what's available as far as discounts, rebates, tax breaks, and essentially there's nothing available in my area, southeastern Virginia. So there is an EV charging equipment tax credit still in effect until the end of this month, until June 30th, 2026. It expires, but you have to be in a census tract. To claim this credit, your property must be located in an eligible census tract, typically non-urban or low-income communities. So I'm not in an approved census tract, and it's only up. It's really not much to begin with. You can claim on this Section 30C when you do your taxes. Section 30C. You can claim up to 30% of the cost of the installation. So my installation was about $700. So $210. My savings would have been less than $40 in my taxes. So even if I was eligible, it wasn't worth even messing with. The next thing is looking at my power company. My power company is Dominion in Virginia. And the only thing they offered was some kind of charger installation, home residential charger installation, where you fill out forms, send them in, and you use their vendor, and then the cost is you pay full cost, but it's spread out over. They charge you like $47 a month. So they'll pay for it. They'll cover the upfront cost, and you got to pay them back in installments, $47 a month. But you've got to fill out forms, and I just said, yeah, I'm not messing with that. And it's probably, their vendor is probably, to deal with Dominion, they probably have a pretty nice markup that they add on to that. So, mine was $700. I suspect theirs would have been a lot more than that. Then the next thing is charging an off peak rates, which is like midnight to 5 a.m. So I want to charge at the cheapest electric rate. So looking at my Dominion account, we are not set up for the off peak plan, but you have to enroll for the off peak plan. So to enroll, you've got to log in your account, click on View and Compare My Rate link under the Usage tab, click on the Compare Change Rates button in the Potential Savings arrow, and then click on the blue Request Rate Change button. So you got to request a change to enroll in the off-peak plan. So we did that, and that goes in effect with our next billing cycle. So the end of the month, that will kick in, and it's considerably cheaper to charge from 4 a.m. or it's considerably cheaper to charge midnight to 5 a.m. So the decision for me was, do I use the plug, the unit that Subaru supplied, which is a plug. It comes with a box. I don't know if it's a transformer or controller or some kind of, and then you have two pigtails that plug into it. You can choose the NEMA 1450 plug, which is like a three prong with a ground prong, or do you go out and buy, a charging station, a charging receptacle. There's ones that people online are installing. Like one was a Grizzle-E, and another popular one was an Emporia. These are hardwired. So the Grizzle-E and the Emporia. So you hardwire this charger, mount it to your wall, hardwired in, and then you've got the dedicated cable that plugs in your car, and you choose whether it's a Tesla style or whatever style charger you have. And they're programmable, so you can they're Wi-Fi, and you can set it to charge at night during the off-peak charging times, and they're about $500 a piece. And my car, the Subaru Trailseeker, has software where you can do the same thing. So my wife, I haven't done it, but my wife, on her phone has the My Subaru app, and she can go online and look at her car, and she can set, the charging times from her phone. So there was no advantage I saw of using one of these other charging stations, charging adapters, because I can do everything on the My Subaru app that I could do with these Grizzle-E and the Emporia. So I chose just to use the charger that came with it. Basically, it's a I don't know, it's a box, whether it's a transformer or a controller, whatever it is, and it's got two pigtails you can plug in, the 240 NEMA plug, or you can plug or a 120 standard socket plug. So I chose to go with the one provided by Subaru. So essentially, I'm going to have a plug, or I did have a plug installed, a box on my wall that matches the plug, the Subaru plug, that I plug into, and then the Subaru little box that came with the car has a little notch on the back where you hang it on the wall, and it's securely attached to the wall. So that's what I chose to do, and that saved me $500. So my total out-of-pocket cost to have this plug-in box, 240 box to plug my Subaru charger into, was $700, and we ran into some challenges with that. So I'll show what I got. So after installing this outlet yesterday, I understand why that there's not examples out there. I thought I'd be able to see, or even Subaru dealer. I thought they'd have a book of examples. Here's your different options. How to install a charging station in your garage. I thought you'd have this book where you can just flip through and say, okay, here's using the Subaru charger. Here's using buying another charging station and mounting it to your wall, and here's using the 50 amp. You can use 40 amp. I thought there would be a lot of examples that I could say, hey, yeah, I like that one. That makes sense for my need. But based on after the electrician came, looked at my panel, it's every house I think is different with the way panels are installed and the way wiring's done and how many open circuits. I have a 26-year-old house, so there's been stuff added over the years. I've added a whole house surge protector, and it's just, I understand why there's not, these are the 3 or 4 best examples, because it seems like in my case it was turned out to be a custom job. But I understand why there's not simple examples for that you can just go pick out of a catalog and say, yeah, that I want that, and show it to an electrician and say, hey, do this. So when I talked to my electrician about putting this 240 volt plug in for my Subaru charger to plug into, I sent him pictures. I had a welder, the prior owner had a welder, 240 volt welder plug or outlet put on the wall, installed to plug in a welder to it. So I thought I had this 240 volt plug, and it was just a matter of changing that plug out for the for the NEMA 1450 style plug. And here's the plug that was on my wall, and here's the plug on the wall with the holding the Subaru plug next to it. So that's what I sent my electrician, and he thought it was going to be pretty simple, just come out and change the plug out. But it turns out the circuit for the welder, the 240 volt circuit, was repurposed for a building, a little workshop that the prior owner had built in the backyard. So he took that 240 service and ran it out and took it out and put it in a sub panel, connected it to a sub panel in this workshop. So that circuit was used. So we had to figure out how to get another 240 volt circuit into this already full electrical panel. So this is my electrical panel. And this is the 50 amp breaker for the EV charger. So there were two breakers here. Actually, I think there were 4 breakers. Anyhow, they had to take 4 breakers and combine them into 2. So I don't know. Maybe these are the 2 new ones. No, maybe I think these are the 2 new ones. So these are special. They had to go to some electrical distributor and get these 2 breakers that combined 4 into 2, and then that opened up 2 spots for my the 50 amp breaker. So yeah, that was more complicated than we had originally thought. And then this is what the end product looks like. So this is a Subaru charger, and there was a big hole in the wall here from where the old plug was. So I just took a piece of 2x4, painted it white, screwed it to a stud here, and then this is secured on a hex head flange screw. So this has a little notch in the back that goes over that, and this is about I just backed this out until it was snug on here, and it's real secure. I'm pleased with that. And this is where the pigtail. This is the pigtail that plugs in here. There's a 110 that goes in there too. And one thing I forgot to mention, but I did have them turn this sideways. So this plug would normally sit straight up and down. And just the weight of this, if this was just hanging down, the weight of this box pulls it loose from this pigtail. So I did have them turn it sideways, the plug sideways, so I could, secure it properly and not have it pulling loose, the pigtail pulling loose from the charger. So that's another tip, lesson learned. I would, understand where you're going to hang this and orient the plug in a way that the wire, is out of the way and not hanging and pulling loose. So that was one thing I did have them do differently than just a standard plug that would, plug in this way. I had them turn it 90 degrees. And then I just, I wanted everything low profile because this is where our pedestrian door is. We travel, the car's not in here right now, but we come up and, this is where I didn't want any hooks hanging off the wall. So found this little thing called Electric Gecko on Amazon. I don't know, like $7. Holds over, it's for extension cords. So I was able to just, kind of spread the cords out. And then the charger, when the vehicle's in here, the charger is right here will be right here at the front fender. So we'll be able to just take it off, plug it in, and then return it. Just return it back to that. So yeah, that's what I got. Required a little bit of thought, you know, retrospect. When I talked to him, the electrician, I thought, you know, he said, well, you got a box on the outside. We'll just put it on the outside of the wall. I thought it was going to be, you know, one that looked like it belonged on the outside of the wall. If I known he was just going to put this box out like this, I would have said, hey, no, I want it, you know, I want it flush with the wall. But oh well. So we're good to go. I'm using the Subaru Charger, $700 out of pocket, some gymnastics to go through in the electrical panel, and combining 4 breakers into 2 to free up space for this new the new 50 amp 240 volt box. So I guess pleased with it. That's, you know, time will tell, but that's what I came up with, and looking forward to the money savings going electric over gas. So yeah, till next one, let's all keep moving forward in a good way.